Hey, I'm back with another episode of Naked. Let's get messy in the messy middle edition. Today I want to talk to you about engagement because, really I want to talk to you about relationships, period. But I'm going to take it a step further for those of you who are in a relationship, for those of you who have been, who want to be. The end goal for most of us is engagement, is marriage, is the Disney World happily ever after, which, by the way, Disney World ruined love for us. I just want you to know the concept of love is not what they showed us in the movies that they fed us when we were little kids. That's BS. That's not the real world. Wake up. Notice if all your relationships do not show up like that. It's because that's not what relationships are about. I want to talk to you today about the grueling part of keeping a healthy relationship. How hard it can be sometimes. How much you actually need to be willing to forgive, to love, to learn what love actually means. Love doesn't mean that the other partner is filling my needs constantly, making sure that I'm the happiest, that everything is about me. Love means being able to forgive, to let them be human, to give the process time, give them an opportunity to learn you, to learn what your triggers are, to learn how to be there for you. And most of all, for you to learn how to be there for them, to make space for another whole human so you guys can coexist. So this is new for me to talk about it because I didn't want to talk about it until I felt like I had a better grasp on it. And I want to tell you something. I don't have the best grasp on it. I don't think I ever will. I think that in every stage, there will be a new level of connection available and therefore a new level of the grueling part of the process where it's literally like two diamonds being rubbed against each other and like, ow, 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 ow. But boom, once they finish, they shine like crazy. So now enough with the metaphors. Let's actually dive right in. So have you ever been in a relationship? Have you ever been in a relationship where in the beginning it was so passionate, so loving, so kind, you like literally were head over heel over this guy or this girl, and then a few months later it was just like, or a few weeks later, a few hours later, it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I ever even liked this person. Yeah. Well, I want to challenge you right now to go back there for a moment. First, go back to the loving part. And now this isn't a challenge to get you to go back with that person. So don't get me wrong, especially all the love addicts out there. This isn't what it is, okay? This is about actually learning from our process. Because if you just go through it and you don't take anything out of it, I guarantee you're going to do it again. Because there is a lesson waiting to be learned. And if you're not going to learn it that time, you'll learn it the third time, the seventh time, the 100th time. You will learn it at some point because this world has a way of making you learn what you need to learn. Okay, so why not learn it from something that already happened? All right, so I challenge you right now, go back there. Go back to the loving part. What did you feel? How did it feel to see that person and literally just love them? Feel like they're perfect. They're awesome. How did that feel? How did it feel? What were you willing to do for them? How much were you willing to give them? I want you to just bask in a moment of feeling love so that you can remember what it feels like to give love to someone else. Just to feel it, not even give it, just to feel the love for someone else. Now, once you've done that, I challenge you to go one step deeper and go to the moment you said, I'm done with this. The moment you might not have told it to her even or him. It might have been weeks or months later or hours later before you actually told them I'm done. But there's that moment where suddenly like everything they ask you to do is just like, oh my God. Or you became obsessed with them and you're just like, but you didn't anymore want them. It was more to fill a love addiction, which really I'm going to talk about another time, a love addiction, something that I've learned about recently that I've known always, but learning about it is like, wow, I believe a lot of us need to hear this information. I wish I knew it earlier. But when was that moment where you said, I'm done? When was the moment where it turned from being, I really like this person, maybe I can see even a future with them, I want to see where this goes, to, oh my God, what a drag. This person's horrible. If you can sit in that moment a moment, that sounded funny, but if you could take a moment just to sit there, okay? What happened? Now, you might have an answer for what happened. They cheated on me. I don't know. She became so... Finish the sentence. Or you might not. And I want to challenge you to stay curious about this. Rather than it being like, what happened? Oh my God. More like, I'm curious. What does happen to me in relationships? Why does every relationship turn? Now, there are 100 different reasons why it could. But what I want to talk to you about now is, how do we keep a relationship? How do we keep it? How do we fuel it so it keeps going? See, I met Yehuda, my fiance. I love bringing that up, sorry. It's just new to me and it's beautiful and I never thought I'd ever get to say that. When I met Yehuda, there was like this, I'll never forget, there's this moment. I looked at him the first time I laid eyes on him and I saw the way he looked at me. He looked at me like I was eye candy, literally. But not like a sex object, like I can't explain it. Like he saw me. And I looked at him and all I saw was this beautiful, beautiful soul in a hot body, if I may be honest. But a beautiful soul. I could see like silence. I could see light and beauty. And in that moment, I remember thinking two things. One, oh my God, I want this guy. And then two, I don't want to get close because I don't want to lose him. And it pains me to be honest because that's the first time I'm saying it out loud. That second voice, that voice spoke loud. I really heard it. And thank God for the work I did. Otherwise, I would never walk forward, ever. Because that voice was loud. In time, we learned that we cannot handle relationships. If you grew up in an unhealthy home, which most of us did, raise your hand if you did. If you grew up in an unhealthy home, you didn't learn healthy relationships. It's not possible. Now, you may have had some healthy people who taught you a little bit, but you didn't really learn it in your home group. So you come out into the real world and you're like expecting yourself to know how to have a healthy relationship when really you're replaying everything you learned from your childhood. Just like if someone taught you ABC's wrong, you would know ABC's wrong. If they taught you ABC's wrong, they taught you relationships wrong. And the reason I'm saying it is not to get angry at them, but to understand you. Oh my God. Doesn't it make sense why you're working so hard in relationships? Even if you're married, you're still working hard in relationships, right? Because that's what you learned. They taught it to you wrong. And because for the interest of time, we're running so short on it and I have so much more to say, I want to focus on one little thing. I want to give you one little thing today that you can move forward with in your relationship. And that is time. That is the patience for yourself. I want to give you the opportunity to choose right now patience. To choose right now to look at relationships the way I decided around 1.5 years ago. When I finally decided this is going to be experiential. I'm going to experiment with this. I'm done saying he's going to be the guy for me. I'm going to start saying, is he the guy for me? Can I find ways to love him more? Can I find ways to stay curious? When you start with curiosity around this, you're going to have the ability to give yourself that gift of time and patience. And that's what I want to leave you with today. I want to implore with you, I think that's the word, that you actually go inward and recognize what I said. You didn't learn the ABCs right. How are you supposed to learn how to read? How are you supposed to write? How can you accept love and how can you give love if you didn't have healthy love? Right? If you were the kid who they told under the blanket, this is what love is. Or if you were the kid who was beaten up, or even if it wasn't that bad, but you were never connected with, you were neglected, on any way, on any format, in any, the words aren't coming out right. It's hard to talk about this, but you didn't learn how to read and write properly. And I want to ask you, please, to take a step back and give yourself the compassion you need so that you have the time. I don't care how old you are, so that you have the time to figure out a new way to have relationships. If you have relationships you don't like, stop doing what you're doing. You know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing you're doing and expecting something different. You're not insane. Your actions may be. So take a break and start again. And this time around, go experientially. Go out on dates saying, I wonder, is he the guy for me? Will I be able to live with that for the rest of my life? Let's see. And you see, when you do it with a curious manner, you don't need the answers right away. The answers will come. That's what I did with Yehuda. It was so hard, but now I'm engaged to him. And I still do it. And that's how on different levels, but that's how I get to have a beautiful relationship with him. And I feel like we're going to have more time on this another time. If you like this, just let me know. You know how you do that. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I know you want to, so just go ahead and do it. It's one little button, and then it'll always show up. So whenever you want to see more videos, it'll show up. It'll notify you so you can remember. And even if just in the middle of who knows where, you'll get that notification, and it'll like wake you up. That's what I'm here to do, to teach you, to open up that naked version of humanity and show the messy middle. See you soon.